think a lot of the challenges that these young men are facing at ACJC is more or less not having a voice. And I think that one of the struggles is these young men are losing family time. If you think about it, a lot of homes today are without a father. And the crimes they're committing, the people out there on the streets hear them only for a benefit and to benefit them, who's ever doing whatever, causing these young men to do the crimes that they're doing.
The part of the city in which we work is very suburban, upper middle class, so it's a little bit more difficult to see the wounds and the scars on the surface. The longer you get to know these students, you'll find out that there are very similar stresses in their life as there are with any student. They're just harder to see because we're more skilled at hiding them.
I moved here from England 3 years ago, and it was definitely a challenge to get used to the culture, especially getting used to look on faith here compared to in England. I hadn't really understood that a lot of people here will say that they're a Christian but don't really live it out.
A struggle I've went through that was very tough for me. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I broke up with my girlfriend of almost a year. When I finally split ways, I started going back to campus life and brought myself back to God and back to Mike and had him help me through it. It was just a really hard time trying to figure out how to go through life now without someone there by my side.
At the moment, religion's not really a big part in my life. I've never really been a big church goer or anything. My parents got a divorce and that was hard for me. It was more of a shock to me. I guess I never really thought they were my parents were real close and everything, but I never really thought they'd get a divorce. I never thought it would be like that.
I think my problem or my struggle before was not understanding the power that I had. I didn't even know a relationship with Jesus was a possibility. I always thought it was kind of distant.
When I first started with City Life, I didn't have a lot of confidence and I was really angry.
I've got a friend, we'll just call him Bud, strong atheist. Didn't want anything to do with it, had multiple different theories of what happened after we passed away and this and that. Me, 2 other friends, and our campus life director, Chase Wagner, got together and we created and made this group we call Barracks. Bud came to Barracks. He was really quiet at first, wasn't quite sure what to think, but about halfway through, close to the end, he really started to open up because people knew who he was at school, obviously, but no one really knew his story besides me and maybe one other guy. And so Bud really decided just to open up, talk about the things that he struggled with, such as deep depression, thoughts of suicide, and just some of those really deep thoughts that a lot of teenagers have and share, but people don't want to talk about. One of the key things he said was, I've been searching for something for a long time. Don't know what, but I think this might be it.
When I was in high school, some of the struggles that I dealt with is I actually have OCD, and I had it since I was a little kid. And while I was in high school, it actually came back, and it kind of really threw me off, and I really struggled with anxiety and depression for a while. I know a lot of other kids go through the same things, but no one talks about it.
One of the biggest things that teens are really dealing with right now is social media, and that even though they can escape their school day, if they're struggling with people at school, they can't completely escape because they have their phone with them.
We're seeing a lot of broken kids. We're seeing a lot of kids making messes of their lives with no real direction, and much of it even is in the home. And so for someone to be able to, that they can confide in, that God can work in that relationship and you can lead them to the foot of the cross, that kid can make it.
Oftentimes they fill it with negative activity. If they don't have a sense of family at home, they find that extended family outside, generally with gangs or drugs. And with social media and what they're observing on television, the way to make money is, we're gonna make it this way, illegally. No matter how many times you tell them, drugs and gang only bring about death and destruction.